We'll see if this works better now. I think it's set up right now, Jody. YouTube and StreamYard open at the same time before.
There we go. Hopefully it's not doing that weird thing again.
No, I don't think it is. I think this worked.
Not sure how it got weird.
I had YouTube and StreamYard open at the same time. Okay, I think it works because Jody Burns just made a comment and it showed up in the StreamYard.
Yeah, there it goes. It works now.
Yeah. There we go. I'll figure this thing out yet. So what's your favorite scripture? Do you have one, Nick?
Oh man, there's so many ones that I don't remember where it was, but I can kind of remember what it was. But I really like that as an Adam all die, as through Christ all shall be made alive.
Right on. Yeah.
Or that all knees shall bow and all tongues shall confess that he is Lord. All things are for God, through God, and how does that one go?
Yeah, you're giving all the ones that give big glory to the Father.
I feel those are the most important.
That's nice.
Because I understand those are the most important to understand, because that's the basics of how reality works.
Yeah. That's interesting. You choose the ones that give the glory to God the most. There's something very good in that.
It makes me know that everything is going the way it should be. That if it was anything else, nothing can go truly wrong.
It's Nick who's speaking right now, Jody. Success is right, Tommy. Nick is his name. Your name's not coming up for some reason.
Well, that's weird. Let's see why. I had it on there earlier. Weird.
I can see it on my end, but
there we go. Settings. How did I?
Not there.
How did I do that? How did it disappear? Weird. Comments, settings.
I'm gonna pull you out quick and put you back. Okay.
Where did it go? That's weird.
I didn't bring in your name.
Oh, this is bizarre.
They got it anyway.
Jody, no. Usually it's there. I don't know what happened. Very strange. Oh, well. Well, at least it's working. That's what matters.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's because I had I guess on this mode, if you put up somebody's comment, it takes away the names.
Oh, that's why. And I understand how powerful the God of the universe is. He was able to create all this stuff. He's able to save the creatures that he created, because he made all the little things that they do every day, and all the little things that keep him going. If you can't save it, there's something wrong. There's a problem. He would have not been able to make them in the first place.
He would have failed.
I mean, he can't fail. It's impossible. If he failed already, none of everything would cease to exist if he failed.
Well, people are unaware that the creation process is still going on, right? He's still not finished. He won't be finished till the consummation.
Yeah, the end of the story is still going along. It's like when the author writes the book, the story is still going on, or they're in a movie. Even when the bad stuff's happening, that's how it's gonna happen. That's how the movie works. It's the plot is the plot thickens.
There we
Things have to
go.
happen. It's just like a
I
movie.
just sent a link, Tommy.
The movie's got to happen. Everything in the movie's got to happen the way it is, and it's not over. You know, you don't say in the middle of the movie, "This is it." No, there's still more. It's the same thing in a movie or a book or a TV show. You don't. It's all about context. People don't understand the context of our reality. We're still in the middle of the story, and the plot needs to thicken. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I was enjoying listening to my music today when doing the carts.
What were you listening to?
Just all the music I got on my phone. Stuff.
Pop music, basically.
Not too much. Usually music from video games and stuff that's in the Super Mario 64 sound font. That's my favorites. Some of my favorite stuff. The old game Super Mario 64, they use those instruments for different other pieces of music, and it sounds great. There's one that I like the most that makes you think of the big steam locomotives that I drew. I'm going super fast and running them. That's pretty amazing. Also makes me think of Jack when I see him again, it'll be pretty amazing. Definitely some of the music that's familiar to him. Definitely.
I put a link there, Tom.
Is there anyone else? I know there's more people here that would probably want to join.
Tom, someone called Edgy Wedgie.
Mm-hmm. There's got to be more people here. I know. Probably takes a couple minutes for them to know it's here.
Well, they might have heard the other. I'm getting an echo for some reason. Shouldn't be.
Was that? I don't know if it's me doing it because I am on my phone and maybe sometimes it gets echoey, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Because, a phone is smaller and the speaker is closer to the microphone on a phone.
Right.
They're pretty close. So you're probably just hearing that little bit of that.
Yeah, it's not that bad when it does happen.
Yeah, if you have YouTube open on it, then it's really bad.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's just amazing that I get to understand the glory of God. And I see all these people around me that they just either they don't know or they don't understand. It'd be nice to be able to let them all know, but it's not going to happen yet. It's not time yet. The appointed time hasn't arrived yet. But one day they will know.
Yeah. Every knee shall bow. Oh, here we go. We got Mr. Bacon, Tommy himself. How's it going tonight, brother?
Thank you. Well, what's cracking, brothers? Testing.
Testing.
Testing. Do I need to yell? Do I need to yell, or can I whisper? Hey, fellas.
You must have a makeup person working for you.
Oh, do I? Is my rouge on? Is my rouge on?
Looks good. Not too much glare.
Okay, let's see. Shirley, could you adjust that lighting, please? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. They're interns, you know.
There you go. Oh,
I liked what you said, Rasmo. Can I call you Rasmo?
absolutely.
Cool.
It's Tim, but you can call me Rasmo for
Cool.
sure.
I liked what you said about the richness of fellowship, and how that's just so growthful to indulge in that, you know?
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
mellow fellowship, you know? Yeah, doctrine, plenty of doctrine, but not much bickering about it. Just affirmation, man.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. That's kind of my goal, you know?
That's a good thing, you know?
Just find commonality, right?
Yeah.
Right. We're all rascals.
May I remain graciously calm. That is our prayer. Yes, that is our prayer.
We don't need no high blood pressure.
No,
the world gives us enough of that.
You know, I'm on break actually. Union rules, Saint Union rules. You know, I'm on break, so.
I used to be a big union guy.
Oh yeah. What's going on? Are you still working at the Walmart, brother? Or is it the Safeway? Or
It's a Safeway.
Oh, Safeway, that's it. Yeah, you still
Mm-hmm.
serving God and
tonight.
humanity. Yeah, man. Inspirational, bro.
Trying to put away all those shopping carts that they can go through.
God,
It's like it was so busy today. The second I would bring them in, 2 minutes later, they're all back out there again.
Oh yeah.
That's how hard they were hitting them today.
Constant.
Oh yeah, constant. And of course there were 2 complete overflowing shopping carts of what we call go backs, stuff that has to go back to the shelves. 2 overflowing carts.
And
last time I was there, that stuff there was none. And there's 2 overflowing carts. And I was so frustrated I didn't even want to look at it. Because I'm like, the other guys didn't do anything. 2 overflowing carts of this stuff. And then tomorrow I'm gonna have to thin it out a little bit.
How many can you push at once?
What, the carts?
Yeah.
They say you're only supposed to do 6, but I do like 12.
Okay.
I'm about myself. I gotta put those carts away. If I do 6 at a time, it'll take way too long.
Do they have those motorized cart?
Not at our store, no. You mean the cart mule or the?
Oh yeah, they look cool, man.
No, we don't have one because I don't know why. I guess our store's not big enough, but Sam's Club and Target does. But Target has a much higher turnaround rate on those carts because there's way more customers in Target because there's a lot more stuff that people go in there and buy, not just groceries. Target gets more turnaround on the carts, so they need to put a lot more away at once because they go through a lot of shopping carts at Target. Went in there yesterday, and it was yesterday they were almost out of carts. There were so many people in there.
Oh, Jody wants to know what state we live in.
Oh, me or
just us? I know Tommy's on the East Coast.
I live in the state of confusion known as North Carolina. Yeah.
Live in the crazy state known as Maryland.
You're near Chesapeake Bay, yeah?
Yeah, and I'm also near the rat's nest of the country. The
What do you
rat's
mean?
nest.
What do you mean by the rat's
The
nest?
rat's nest. The Washington.
Oh,
The rat's
okay,
nest.
okay.
It's the rat's nest. Or the swamp, as you can also call it. I call it the rat's nest. I'm in between the rat's nest and the armpit of the country.
I'm in Toronto, up in Canada.
It's where our fair statesmen
Washington,
lead.
D.C. is the rat's
Yes.
nest. Baltimore
Our
is the
fair
armpit.
statesmen lead, man. Mm.
Both of them are terrible. And I'm wedged in between both of them. You get the traffic. Oh my gosh. You get the horrible traffic. You get the worst road, the worst highway in the country, in my opinion. The Washington Beltway. Oh geez. The Washington area Beltway. Interstate 495. Oh my gosh, what a mess. It's always backed up. Always. Makes me upset. It's just like this time, most of the time I get to avoid it.
You do much traveling?
I like to drive around just to get out of the house.
Just go for a nice evening drive.
Just drive around, yeah, just to get out of the house.
Well, there's Patricia.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful up where she lives. Oh, those are supposed to be pretty too. The Finger Lakes.
Anywhere with autumn is nice, in my opinion. I don't like Florida. There's no autumn. It's nice there during the summer. Well, it's hot, but I sure wouldn't want to be there any other time. It's nice going to Florida for a couple of weeks for vacation, but that's all I treat it as. I don't want to live there. It's not a place to live. Too mosquito-y and too hot. Like, it's different when you have to go outside and do something there. That's just, if you're not going to the beach, you don't want to be outside midday during the summer there in Florida. It's nasty.
I went to Florida for a few seasons not long ago and hung out in this great big state park. Me and my son would go there for walks, and anyway, I saw all these wild creatures that I'd never seen before, raccoon, several snakes, although I'm used to water moccasins, but
water moccasins.
alligators, all kinds of birds, just pooping birds, man. They just dive bomb you and stuff. Bees.
Seen the egrets and the wood storks, the ospreys, wood storks, egrets.
I stepped off the trail to take a leak and peed on a damn bee's nest, man.
Really?
Probably a wasp nest. You peed on a wasp nest. Fun.
And of course, I was in Florida, so I had shorts on,
Oh, yeah, running away from the wasp. When I was down there last time, we were at a baseball field, and up in the eave of this building, there was a European hornet's nest being built. And I'm like, oh, it'll really ruin your day if somebody thought it was smart to throw a rock at it. They would ruin their day. It was just up high on an eave, and there were some rocks floating nearby, and I'm like, someone's gonna throw a rock at this thing, and they're gonna get stung. I know what's gonna happen there.
I heard about those murder hornets.
No, it's not those. It's European.
European.
No, those are Asian giant hornets. European hornets are different.
European are one of the less painful.
They don't sound.
Yeah, but they're still gonna ruin your day.
Oh yeah, it's not enjoyable.
Not fun.
In Canada, the worst hornets we have are bald-faced wasps.
Oh, I hate those things.
Yeah,
they're so aggressive. I've seen plenty of videos of people removing them. They're really aggressive.
Yeah, I got nailed on the foot, and it literally hurt like 24 hours later, it still hurt the same, and all of the veins around my foot turned black for about 24 hours.
No, they're not fun to
That's
get stung
really
by.
wicked.
Luckily, I don't have them where I am, so I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, in Florida, they got like, I was there when I was like 12 years old.
My mom is constantly removing wasp nests at where she lives in Florida.
Right.
She's got a palm tree and it gets full of wasps, and they have to constantly remove the nests. Constantly. That's the problem. When you don't have winters, you get wasp issues.
So
Ugh.
you get water moccasins around
Wasps.
where you live now?
Not where I live. We don't have. I haven't seen any venomous snakes where I am. We
Do
might
you
have
ever
copperheads, but I've never seen them.
Do you ever have one try to bite you or anything?
Hell, a water moccasin are aggressive. Are
You
very
just leave them alone; they're not gonna bother you. You just leave, just walk away. You see one.
We got them big as tennis balls.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
really, eh?
Hell yeah, man! They're fucking cocky, and they'll fall out of trees on you into the canoe. You know, you have to be
Right.
careful.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They climb trees really well.
The only thing we got here is we got Massasauga rattlers.
But those
And
hide in rocks. Those
I
are
come
normally not
across
out.
quite a few of those, but I've only been struck at once, and that one I had to kill because my dog was trying to get at it. But it's the where I camp, it's the only thing you really got to concern yourself with at all. Right?
And most of the time, they're not out in the open. They're hidden, so you don't need to be too concerned.
Where I am, they're always on rocks.
They're basking on rocks. So
It's a very rocky area.
Are you near the
just watch
tundra?
out.
Are you near the tundra? I've heard
No.
they've got a lot of mosquitoes up there. That's what I heard.
It's insane. I literally, like I used to go fly-in fishing up there, right? Just before the tundra, just past the tree line.
Yeah.
And we get dropped in on a plane, right? Like a little beaver, a beaver plane.
Right.
And when we would be going out, like usually it's Americans who would come up, right? To go fishing. And they'd get off the plane. And before they even got to the end of the dock, we'd like exchange cases of beer with them for whatever muskol we had left over, right? Because it's when you get up there, it's unimaginable.
What in the hell does somebody do with musk oil? What is that, a lubricant of some kind?
It's a type of DEET. DEET, the stuff you put on for mosquito.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mosquito repellent.
Yeah, man. Off.
Yeah. But it like
I love DEET.
It's crazy up there. Like those white outfits that have the screen for the face. I go up to northern Quebec, and by the end of the week, all of our things would be red. The whole things would be blood, right?
Damn.
And at least on the third or the fourth day, everybody would wake up and all of your fingers would be like sausages and your eyes would be like this because you're so inflamed from all of the getting bitten so much.
Oh, jeez.
Some antihistamine, would that help?
I hate mosquitoes.
Antihistamine. Sounds like antihistamine time.
Just gotta worry about getting diseases from all those mosquitoes.
Yeah, man. It's the saltwater mosquitoes that render malaria, I think. I think it is.
There, when they built some of the canals in Canada, when they flooded backwaters or whatever, they did have malaria outbreak up in Canada here.
Was it fresh water?
Yeah, like because there's no because the last salt water we get on inland is the St. Lawrence River, right? So
I don't know. I just saw it in a documentary.
Right. You're probably correct.
Where MacArthur's troops went into like somewhere in Africa or somewhere, landed, or maybe they were going behind the lines in Italy. Yeah, that was it. And they went into a salt marshy area, and they said that malaria was an issue because of the salty, brackish water.
Right.
Mosquitoes.
Just what I heard,
My dad got malaria when he was in the army.
Where was he
And
at?
he was a merchant marine and just going across to England and back to Newfoundland. And or no, he got it in Panama. I'm sorry. He didn't tell me. He never spoke about the war or anything. But I was in a shopping mall and he was giving blood, and I seen him, so I went and talked to him, and I look at his bag and it said malaria on the bag, and I asked him, I'm like, did you have malaria? And he's like, yeah, I got it when I was in Panama Canal.
Damn.
So.
But your mom married him anyway. That's cool. Good.
Oh. Yeah, a lot of scary stuff down those areas. Bot flies. A friend of mine from Brazil, he was at my house.
Well, those brain-eating amoebas.
Oh, shit, I hate those.
But the bot flies, you can see them moving under the skin. They put a larva that's over 1 inch long under your skin.
Damn.
And it's got a rim around it with little spikes so you can feel it when it's under your skin moving around. And they've got to like tease it out and then pull it out with a piece of tape. It's quite nasty.
What a buzzkill.
And the thing is with them, the way they get on you is that when you're hanging your clothes out to dry, they put their eggs on your clothes, and then when you put your clothes back on, they work themselves into your skin, and that's all tragedy, right?
Damn. That doesn't sound good, man. Wherever that was, I'm not real thrilled about going on
Brazil.
vacation.
I don't ever want to go to Africa. Africa's the worst place on earth.
Fucking
If people
leeches.
glorify Africa and say it's a wonderful place.
Ebola, I don't want none of it. No.
Nothing glorious about horrible, nasty, about bugs and disease. Not a place I want to live or go to. And people just glorify Africa as this pretty place. No, it's not. All I see it as a hot, disease-ridden, blood-sucking, bug-infested wasteland.
My daughter's going there. My daughter's going in March to Africa, to Cape Town. And I told her she's not allowed to go swimming because False Bay, that's just south of Cape Town. That's where a lot of the great white shark attacks are.
I would only go to Africa from inside of like a protected like thing that's completely sealed and like completely hermetically sealed with its own ventilation system and completely sealed, so you can't even ever you could just look and observe it.
A body condom, with 2 eye holes.
Yeah, what do you call it? A hazmat suit. That's how you see Africa.
Yeah.
A hazmat suit. That'd be like the only thing to keep that crap off of you.
Make it a Kevlar so the lions can't bite through it and all the snakes.
No, I just want something to keep the tsetse flies and the bot flies and the mosquitoes and all the stuff that really gets all the diseases away.
There's 2 things I don't like. That's sharks in open water and lightning when I'm on top of a building. Those 2 things get on my nerves. They do.
I know.
Right.
I feel like
I think work on top of buildings.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work on tops of buildings.
Like
enlightening.
On a swing stage.
Beg your pardon? No. On doing communications maintenance.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I don't like when it comes to insects?
I see you guys up on top of the building all the time.
Yeah, tinkering with shit, fucking off, smoking cigarettes behind the satellite dish. Hell yeah. It's like, fuck it, man. I'm on break,
I don't like any kind of bug that either bites and sucks blood or injects something into you. If it's those kind of insects, stay away. Anything that either injects venom into you or if it sucks blood, I don't want it anywhere near me. So that means ticks, mosquitoes, leeches, wasps, hornets.
What if she had a high credit score? Just a joke. It's just a Theo joke.
Yeah, of course. I still love listening to music while jumping on the trampoline. Last night, that was great. Nice autumn day, blue sky.
Were you flipping out? Were you flipping out on the trampoline? Having
No,
fun? Having fun?
just jumping, just looking at the trees and everything around me.
Right?
Looking up at the blue sky. Looking at all the autumn trees and the wind blowing through the trees and the smell. I was listening to music, thinking about the new earth, seeing Jack again.
Who's Jack?
You don't know who Jack is?
Uh-uh.
I didn't. I think I told you about Jack.
I'm
Remember?
sorry. Was he your friend that passed on?
He was my brother.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I'm sorry.
He's been gone for almost a year now. November 7th.
Yeah, he was his twin brother.
Dang. I hear twins are extra tight. That must suck.
Yeah.
Extra, you know.
Yeah, I got
You know.
twins. They're a boy and a girl, and they're very close. You figure, right? Like they were together 9 months longer than anybody else was with them, you know.
I had a doppelganger, but they quit. I didn't pay me enough.
Did you meet somebody who looked just like you?
Nah. This is a cheap joke.
Before I married my wife, we'd been living together for like 2 years, and she saw who she thought was me and walked with the fella for 2 blocks talking to him until he finally told her, "I'm not who you think I am."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Some kind soul out there chatted with your hot hen and for 2 blocks and said, "Baby, I'm just not him. I'm sorry to say," you know.
Well,
Wow, that must have been trippy.
He must have looked really a lot like me, right? Like she was living with me at the time. It wasn't like we were just, acquainted.
You're probably from that clone harvest year of what, 54? When was it? When was the first clone harvest? I mean, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just making up conspiracy theory shit, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised
I
if
know,
they got
X-Files, you know. I was going all X-Files.
The Twilight Zone.
Was Agent Scully related to Agent Mulder, or were they just kissing cousins, or what? I don't know. Did you ever
I didn't really watch much of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, when you're having a nightlife, you don't watch too much TV particularly.
Braggart. What have you been doing, man? You been going out?
Me? No.
Yeah. No?
Not
nice lady?
Back in the day, for sure. Nightclubs every night,
right?
Not these days. Pretty boring life now.
I had a job one time, an ordinary job. I kind of miss it.
Right.
I'm stuck in the middle of a swamp now. You know, there's not much industry around. I guess Dollar General, you know, maybe I could apply there. You know, what the hell?
But so you're pretty much in, like you're not anywhere near a big city type of thing?
Nah, 20 miles.
How do you like that?
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually in a small town. There's a small town. Yeah.
They got everything you need pretty much.
Yeah, we got a little Walmart not far away.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Big enough then. In a bit, I moved from the country to the city because all my kids are here now. So it's pretty crazy. 3 murders within a block of me, 1 per week for the last 3 weeks. The week before that, somebody shot a machine gun on the other side of the building. And then today A cop had just passed me, and we're the only two cars on the road. He's right in front of me, and right beside him, a guy shoots the two guys are fighting. One guy shoots a gun up in the air, and the cops didn't even do anything. They just kept driving.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck that, man. They'll work it out. They'll work it out.
That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm kind of crapping my pants because when somebody starts shooting a gun, you don't know where they're going to point it, right?
You don't know if they're going to point at you.
Yeah,
Luckily, I don't have that problem where I am, but that's because where I am, everybody's super rich. They're spending $150,000 on cars, like buying candy bars. You wouldn't believe how many of these cars I saw today. So many of them. So many of them. It's unbelievable how many I saw.
I used to fear men pointing guns in my face. I used to. Because of what my stupid unhinged ass would have permission to do, you know.
Mm.
Suicide by dumbass, you know. Just rush the motherfucker and kill yourself, you know.
You've been shot at before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
I got shot in the
I
back.
don't need to worry about it because I'm
What's
not,
that?
you know, messing with drugs and stuff. So I
Shot
don't
in the
need to
back,
worry about it.
And what else? Where else was I shot? It seems like I've been shot twice, but I can't remember the second time.
I got hit once by a
Yeah.
shotgun bullets from a hunter.
Yeah,
I was fishing,
that's what happened
and
to
he
me.
was shooting for ducks, right?
Right.
So I got hit by that. And then a girlfriend of mine, I was sitting beside her. She got shot through the neck one time. And I had a cop shoot at me one time. He got kicked off the force for that, though. Right? Just hit a tree right beside my head. So
I got that the other time I thought of it. I got shot in the chest with a 12 gauge with the pellets taken out of it, just the plug, you know.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yeah, it was for dramatic effect. It was
Did it?
pretty exciting. No, it bounced off. It was just a plug, you know.
Yeah.
But
I think though that game can go wrong. I think.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah. I think wasn't Charlie Sheen or somebody?
Right.
No,
yeah.
not Charlie, but some
I know
liberal activist of some sort. Yeah.
Right. Bruce Lee's son. I
Really?
think he got killed like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
On a movie set, because
Brandon Lee.
friends of mine from BC were on the same movie set because they were extras in the movie, so they gave us a little bit of background information on it. Right?
Have you ever met Justin Bieber?
No.
He's from Canada, isn't he?
Yeah. My one of my daughters was going out with the guy who organizes his tours and stuff, right? And yeah, I don't know if she met him.
Mm.
Well, I sure don't have connections like that because I'm not rich.
There are many ways to be rich, brother.
I'm not rich in, you know, what people saying rich is cars and houses, assets. I don't have assets like what all these other people have.
Well, at least you're still young and dumb. Just kidding. Just kidding. Something to say.
Jody Burns says, son accidentally shot me with a BB gun.
That's what my mom says. She says it's all fun and games till somebody loses an eye. Yeah.
I loved when that saying came out. I forget where it was coined from, but it was a good
It
one.
was from what's it called? The Christmas Story or something.
I think you're right, actually.
Not the Christmas Story. What is it called? I forgot what the name of the movie was.
Yeah, that was kind of a good movie, actually.
I like it. I always like watching that one.
Is that where the kid gets his tongue stuck to the
stuck to the pole?
Yeah.
Where he gets that cuss word from his dad.
I hate when that happens.
And he says the cuss word. to his parents, and then his mom makes him do the soap in the mouth. And he says the cuss word when he dropped the bolts for the car.
Getting your mouth washed out with soap is a lot worse these days because they have liquid soap. We used
But you
to
could
just
do
have
with
to
the actual with
take
that
one
soap back
bite.
then because it was actual soap. It wouldn't actually hurt you. It would just taste bad. These
Right.
modern soaps, they're nasty chemicals.
That's true
It's
too.
fine with bar soap, like those bar soaps they had back then, because they wouldn't actually hurt you. It tastes terrible, might give you upset stomach, but that's about it. They won't actually
Man,
hurt you.
man, I look on my bar of Irish Spring. It ain't
Yeah,
from
that Irish
Ireland.
Spring stuff's
It ain't.
nasty
Hey,
chemicals.
Sminty.
It ain't from fucking Ireland. It's from Mexico. You
It's
know.
not made in
I'm
Ireland,
like,
no.
damn, man.
So
You know.
it says that,
Damn.
and I keep getting the ads there. It says, you know, come from a nice smelling place. It's like,
The
what
ladies
nice
like it
smelling
too.
place are they talking about? That smells like synthetic perfume, whatever fragrance that is.
Irish Spring. It makes me think of that ginger chick they had on that commercial. You know, girls like it too. They said, "Yeah, man,
What was it? What?
Irish Spring soap."
Right? But what did the girl say?
She said, "Ladies like it too."
Oh, right. I remember. Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, some kind of neat commercials occasionally.
Yeah, commercial one-liners.
They had a good one for I don't know if it played in the States. It was recently in Canada anyway, and it was about air conditioners. And the people are standing in a newly renovated kitchen, sweating, their sweats dripping off them, and it's two couples, and the one lady saying, "I really like your new kitchen," and like the end of the commercial is, put your money in the right place, get some air conditioning before you get your kitchen done, right? But
I don't know where people get all that money to build a new kitchen. Oh wait, where do they get $150,000 for a
It's from God.
high-end Benz?
Face
Where
it,
are they
it's
getting
from
money
God. God, it's from God, and who knows why. I've been trying to figure out money since I was fucking 6 years old. It's like shit. There's no
No, I don't
understanding.
have $150,000 just
my
laying
life
around.
went backwards. I did pretty good in my 20s, and then it just went down from there.
Yeah.
I sure don't have $120,000 just laying around. That's all I know.
In 95, I went from 150 grand a year to 16 grand the next year. Oh,
I can tell this eon's getting tighter. Everything is getting.
I find that money thing escapes me.
Everything's not as loose as it used to be.
Let's throw a
Everything,
cruise. Let's sponsor
everything.
a cruise to Alaska in the name of universalism, of universal fellowship. And just like, yeah, man, throw a cruise to Alaska, and we could 501c3 it, and hire some beautiful assistants.
Would you like a cruise?
I would like that.
Okay.
I would like that.
I when I was married, my wife and I won a cruise.
Wow,
we didn't
did you
go
go?
on it.
I sure couldn't go on a
Didn't
cruise
go.
because they demand you to take more. They would demand me to take more venom.
Ugh.
More venom and more compliance muzzles. No more of that.
But
God.
I don't like it because there's so many. Myself, it doesn't appeal to me because it seems like you're walking into a
Petri dish.
shopping mall or something.
No,
Right?
it's where they
Yeah.
nickel and dime you or everything. No,
I could see it.
microtransactions.
I could see it being kind of stale fast.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's more where you're stopping, right? Like you'd stop at an island and get off and see stuff, but then you got to be back in 4 hours or whatever, right?
And deal with
it's
the
like
natives, like a sheep amongst wolves, man. Shit. Damn.
Yeah.
Berlin
I
was
liked
like
hanging
that.
out with the locals when I was in Mexico. Right? They told us good traditional place to go eat and stuff. So it was we got to experience it more like the real Mexicans did, you know. So that was
Yeah,
kind of.
stay away from the places where all the drugs are, where the
And
cartels run.
you talking about the egrets and all that. It was kind of neat in the jungle to see egrets flying because they're
Oh, I
so
like
white
egret.
and it's got such a green background. It makes
And
such
my
a
mom
contrast.
says in Florida they call them Florida chickens. The egrets. I've seen tons of them. Egrets and ibises as well. And wood storks. When I was down there, we went on a airboat ride and I saw a wood stork with chicks.
They're cool.
She had fresh. The mother had newborn chicks. They were very much smaller. This wood stork with new chicks. They were pretty incredible.
Yeah, the natural world is incredible.
I like how the birds aren't paying rent. They're not worrying about, they're not worrying about where their next job is. They're not worried about where they're going to get food. They're all
They have,
provided for so well.
and they have no shame. You know, out there walking around, eating. You know, no shame.
They're not worried about
Flying.
law. That's
You
what
know,
I'm amazed.
they're not
They're not worried about
guilty.
law.
I know they're not guilty for anything. You know, the whole world's their cat box. It's like, okay.
Where's Montezuma State Park, Jody?
Humans are just
That's
the
near
animals
Taco
came
Bell.
together.
Right, go past Taco Bell 2 miles, make a left.
Because Jody was saying they're in New York. I wonder if they have a Montezuma State Park in New York.
Which part of New York? New York near Canada or New York over near on the east side near New York City? That part of New York. Near Newark. How's the part of New York I've seen before? It's familiar. With
Yeah,
New York, that's over by Connecticut, that portion, Long Island.
we used to fly
That's
from
what I think of when I
Newark
think of New
down
York.
to City.
I think of the part of New York that's near New York City,
Waterloo, New York.
Newark. No, I don't think Newark is in New York. I don't think it is. I don't think so.
Waterloo, New York, Jody is saying.
Hey, Rasmo, did you go to that Pink Floyd show at Madison Square Garden in '75?
No, I went to the Animals tour in Quebec. What tour was the one in '75?
Well, it was before
Before Animals.
Yeah.
What was?
I think
What
it was
album
actually the
that
first of 3 Wall. It was pre-Wall tracks that they did. But anyway, I didn't get to go because my old man wouldn't let me.
Right.
I was too young to go by myself, Pink Floyd concert. You know what's gonna happen at a Pink Floyd concert in 1975, You don't let your son go walk into that, no. And I was from the South,
Was there concerts around where you lived in the South?
Yeah. The first concert I saw was Kiss. Good
Oh,
God.
okay. I saw Kiss a couple of times. Yeah.
And Aerosmith. And
I
don't
saw
know.
them.
I've seen a lot of people, Bob Seger and Aerosmith and Rush. And,
I partied with Rush quite a few times.
Right.
Bob Seger stands out to me because, like, we used to go backstage for all the concerts, and he was the first guy who we saw be belligerent to the staff.
I danced naked for Robert Zimmerman.
Ooh.
Pulled my diaper off and danced at a party in Pennsylvania.
That's cool. That's a cool thing
This
to be
is
able
my
to
claim
say.
to fame,
Yeah. It wouldn't be such a cool thing if you did it now, though. But
Nah, I don't think I would have been as adorable nowadays.
especially, yeah,
No. It
especially in
went
a
over
diaper.
well at the time, though. It went over well at the time.
Yeah,
You know, a little kid.
yeah. No, that's a priceless thing to be able to say.
Yeah, just crazy today how these people near in the area I'm in figure out where to get all this money from. It's like it's magnetically attracted to them almost. Like the magnet's just drawing the money in. It's almost more like it feels like that is how they're getting it. It's just effortless, this money just being drawn to them.
The love of money. The love of money. What's the love about money? It's just liberty, shamelessness, power, opportunity. You know, I kind of approve of money personally. And you know, yeah.
They can go around and
I
just
desire
blow
more.
150 grand off
I
to get a
suffer
house.
desire. I suffer desire of more money. But I ask for it, you know, what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it escapes me. I'm
Yeah.
not good at that money thing anymore.
All I know is they're showing everybody's got their $150,000 Benz and their $2 million mansions and the newest iPhone and expensive, high end $5,000 handbag. Yeah, $5,000 for a bag is insane.
Dang.
And I saw you could spend $100,000 on a bag. $100,000 on a handbag, as much as a very expensive car on one bag. It's just insane.
That's some Jackie Onassis fucking
Yeah, but like, what
caliber
is it
there,
made
buddy.
out
Oh
of to
yeah.
make it? What is it made out of? Celestial elements, something like that. It's like, geez, it's better me made out of material from the celestial realm for it to cost that much, in my opinion. In my opinion, for a car to cost $150,000, it's better be made out of. It's better have come from the celestial realm, and it's better than be where I don't have to go to the gas station to run it. And it would automatically pay for its insurance, and it would automatically, pay for its insurance. It would automatically update registration.
It's
The
probably
car itself would have its own driver's license, so I wouldn't have to worry about anything.
It's probably painted with adrenochrome paint or something, you know.
Ooh.
I know that's dark. That's dark.
Yeah, most
That's
likely.
dark joke.
Yeah, but see, I was like, where does all this? What justifies a car costing as much as a house? Like, jeez. Oh, it has a V8 in it. A V8 does not cost $100,000.
I'd like to have one of those motorhomes, you know. You can drive the little car into the back of it, and
I seen those.
yeah,
That's
they're
pretty
nice.
cool, eh?
Mm-hmm. Scoot out. Everybody gets the fuck out of the way. You know, they say, oh shit. You know, there's some old fuck in a RV. Look out. Just
I lived in one for a while, couple months, 6 months or something.
One of those airplane toilets, and there's a it's cold.
I feel like on the New Earth, people will have motor homes because they want to go all over the New Earth. So a lot of people might actually want to live in a motor home so they can go anywhere they want. Travel the whole New Earth. Your house comes with you. But instead of maybe driving, they would fly, levitate.
A lot of folks are living out of vans and stuff like that these days.
Yeah, because a basic apartment costs $2,000 a month. That's why. I told you this. I said the Eon's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. The Eon is tightening. I know the White Horse Rider's coming.
Is time speeding up? Is it speeding up?
The older you get, the more it speeds up.
That's what I've heard.
Compresses
Want to know what it's got to do with? It's the percentage of what you've lived. So if you're 2 years old, Or if you were 1 year old, when you turn 3, you've experienced 50% of your life. And as you go up in age, each year is a smaller percentage. So it seems like it goes faster, right? Watch the
And then before you know it, you catch a case of the fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck that. Fuck it. I used to travel every weekend when I was younger. I did.
Right. Same here. Yeah, I haven't done too much traveling out of my country, but a real lot within it. Right.
I've got an internet addiction that just won't quit. It's kicking my ass. It's fucking 10 years, 12 hours a day. Good God.
Oh, too expensive to go anywhere now, it seems. But I'm going on a fishing trip on Sunday.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you
Definitely
heard
need to give Jack his own
Have you heard
flying private island on the new Earth. Give him his own private island, beach island in a giant levitating bowl that can literally go anywhere he wants. I don't know, maybe he'll control it like a steering wheel and there'll be like a bridge and he drives it, or if it'll just float and it'll just kind of levitate and move around. Or it'll make portals it'll go through. That would be pretty cool. I feel like that'll be around. I think that's how a lot of people get around the new Earth pretty fast. Is that maybe there'll be portals and people jump their whatever vehicle they have, or they'd walk through a portal to get to each side. That'd be way faster. Because walking would take so long to go millions of miles. You can't just walk. Close, but you're not going to walk at 3 miles an hour and you need to go millions of miles. It's going to take you years. So there has to either be portals or some faster way to get around. So I don't think people are gonna ride donkey carts on the new Earth. That's primitive. That's second eon level of primitive. The new Earth is way in the future. Teleportation, portals, or just really high speeds. Either people will be able to go that fast or they'll make a way to go that fast.
Tommy, earlier you said you were had fear of open water sharks.
Yes.
Have you experienced that?
Yes.
What kind of do you know what kind of sharks they
No.
were? Okay. Whereabouts was it?
About 300 yards off the coast.
Okay. I swam with
Not
nurse
too
sharks
far.
and blue sharks by myself, so it was a little bit scary. So
I seen that Jaws movie. I never been the same.
well, the summer that it came out, the summer it came out, my mom brought us to Florida, and I swam out to the net, and she wasn't impressed at all, right? Because of the movie.
Tortured your mama like that. Boy. Watch her have a stroke, screaming and shit.
That was our job as kids, wasn't it?
Yeah, truly.
Those poor women, what we put them through.
Jack would definitely get on the new Earth. He'll have his own private. Told you, a private island inside of a big glass bowl. And it'd be of his own beaches, and it'll be a big island. He'll be able to take it anywhere he wants. He would enjoy that.
Where's Ace tonight? Where's
I don't know. I don't think he had a show tonight.
He's tending his squaw and rooster, no doubt.
Perhaps,
his wife and young one.
Yeah, I don't see that he has a show. He deserves a medal for all of the shows he does put out.
Yeah. Putting up with my ass, you damn right.
I don't know if he could do those 5-hour live shows. He obviously doesn't have a job that he has to go to. Does he just live at home or something?
He's a writer. He's a writer.
He's really fast with the keys, that's for sure. If I did his show, it'd be 10 hours long. You'd have to wait for me typing.
Do you chicken pack? Is that how you type?
Like a one-legged chicken.
Right.
Yeah. How about yourself? Are you pretty good with it, or?
No, I just chicken pack.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know if you remember about the spelling and the seem to have like dexterity, I guess, in my hands. Yeah. Too very good with that.
Can you read cursive writing, Nick?
Not really. It confuses me. It's all jumbled together. Just looks like it just looks like a bunch of squiggled lines.
Yeah, it shocked me when I realized my kids didn't know how to cursive write.
Yeah, they're still too busy telling them about gender, what gender they're not.
Right.
Right.
Man, my nephew.
What is the point of cursive? You can't read it. It just looks like a jumbled mess.
Well, yeah, but people older than you can all read it, right?
Well, one point of cursive was it was efficient. You didn't have to pick up the pen.
Yeah, it's way faster than printing.
It's and also especially convenient if you happen to be right-handed, unless
Right.
you're Chinese.
Yeah.
Or dyslexic and left-handed, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
probably got dyslexia as well in somewhat amount. But you know what? These mortal bodies are like that. They've got so many problems. But of course you can't. The world will say it's your fault and that you need to improve, but they're not gonna. This world's never gonna. Go to the issue, the actual true issue, the mortality and the death and the chemicals in the water and the circumstances that led to that event. They have no right to say it's your fault or that you need to that somehow you can improve something that has nothing that has to do with something so deep you can't change it. It has to do with the sovereignty of God, not anything you did.
Well,
Tells you
people
how
will continue to try and fail until God becomes all in all.
Yeah, they'll just keep thinking it's on them, until they're revealed that it was nothing to do with them. And they think their whole life that it's due to them. It's all about them, and they think that their whole life they've been taught that since they're a very little kid that it's what you do. You make your own destiny. It's just constant.
Oh, I have an announcement. Ace just started and ended an 11-second live stream.
11 seconds.
We missed it.
We
gotta be on the ball.
Man, oh man. That must have been I wonder if he had the same problems I did earlier.
I can't stand some of this wisdom this world has, and I would think you have your own destiny. And oh, no wonder I hate school because all school is a bunch of lies. No wonder. It's another reason I hate it because I don't have very good. It's for worldly people. No wonder. School is for worldly people. That's what I found out. It's for people who it's all about human free will. It's all about. It's either they get you in the religion or they get you in the schools. This world wants you under its thumb.
All right, I may be back.
Okay, Tom.
You've been warned.
Okay,
God bless you, brothers.
Thanks for dropping in, Tom. There you go. There's Jody. God's purpose is ignorance as much as understanding. There's a scripture for that. Can't
It's
remember.
like that. They all these, people keep talking about, it's what you do. It's all about you. It's what you, almost like your little things you do somehow changes everything around you and makes the world like they have no understanding of God's power and God controlling anything. They don't understand it at all. They think they only believe in just purely cause and effect, the ripple effect that they're the rock going in the water. But the rock was thrown by something. That rock didn't just hit that water and cause that ripple. Something threw that rock in that exact spot to cause the ripple. That's what religion and the world doesn't understand. Yeah, the ripple, someone threw that rock to go in that exact spot to make the ripple. Again, that was the hand of God through that rock to go to make that ripple in that exact spot. That is how they just think about the ripple and the rock hitting the water. They don't, religion and the world doesn't look where the rock came from and who threw the rock. This metaphorical rock of humanity. And everything that happens, it happens for a reason, exactly the way it needs to happen.
And
Heavenly Father does not fail.
people who don't know aren't supposed to know. God wills that. Nobody's doing incorrectly, right? Everybody's doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Everyone's in exactly the position they're supposed to be right now, as God intended it. And so those who aren't aware aren't supposed to be aware.
Not their time yet.
Just like someone who doesn't have our understanding and who we can't convince of our understanding, they're not supposed to have it, right? So we shouldn't get too upset about folks who don't listen to us. They weren't supposed to. Evil is as it should be. Exactly. Just another tool like Satan. In God's big toolbox.
It's just crazy that I dealt with religion for most of my life. I just can't believe I went through that stuff, that Christianity, that terror in 2015.
You get to see that contrast too, though, right? People like there's not too many, but the people who were raised in our understanding, they probably take quite a few things for granted, right? Because they've always had this understanding, right? So they don't get to see the contrast as much as we do, right?
Exactly. It's just crazy how many people, how big religion is. It's so massive.
And think of people who grew up in believer households and aren't believers. That one really kind of shocks me, right?
Yeah, like was it Martin had children and only and some of them they don't believe. It's just really is up to God. It's not up to us. If it was, then they would have believed, but no. Tells you it's up to God.
I think that really shows us too the fact that we were just, our function was, we were chosen before the foundation of the earth, right? So just because you're all in the same family doesn't mean you were necessarily chosen, right? So
Yeah, I still try.
there's Jody with a different perspective, right? No God in my childhood at all. That's why I think people's testimonies are kind of important, because it shows people the similarities and the contrasts of different people's experiences, right? And so you can kind of you can empathize with people who've had the same experience as yourself, and then people who've had a different experience altogether. Uh, you know, you can kind of delve into that a little bit and imagine what that must have been like. Raised by an outlaw.
Well, I like the fact that God, the way He works is that He He took you astray to get you most people to the truth. He gets you, I guess you call it desperate, or really puts you on edge. He doesn't like for me. I was pretty desperate because I was so scared of that eternal torment crap. I needed some way out of that. That I was like,
What
oh my gosh,
what a
it
one
made me desperate.
what a
I was
wonderful
like,
gift he gave you, eh?
I was like, if you're just gonna send me to this torture chamber, just give me the truth. Just send me to this place if you're so mad at me. I was like, I don't understand. That's how I was like in 2015. I was like, I just don't understand what is going on here. What?
You got into the truth through conspiracy theories type stuff, right?
At first, yeah.
Yeah, and
It was like
then what?
2014, 2015.
And so the
2014 was pretty hectic because I was like, of course, I went into like back to a church again, and that was just more confusion, more. Because for a long time, I didn't really care. I was just, I guess didn't believe in a God, wasn't atheist. I don't know what. I just kind of, well, I don't know what you call that when you don't believe anything. You're just kind of living your life. What do you call
agnostic.
that? Agnostic? I was just that. I didn't believe in. I just knew about the religion. I was in the Catholic stuff for a while because my parents were Catholic, and I went to the Catholic church for a while. But I didn't actually believe any of that. I just dealt with it every Sunday and every Wednesday night because I was a kid.
Right,
Just
right.
dealt with
Yeah,
it.
you just think you're doing the right
Teenage
thing.
years, I just kind of ignored it, and then 2014, we went back to the church, and that more confusion. And I was always thinking, why? How did people like Moses? They just, I was like, why did they? It wasn't. I was always thought it wasn't fair that they had it all set for them, yet I had to try to figure my way out through this world and avoid being tortured forever. It's like makes no sense. I was like, this is so weird. In 2014, I was like, that's when I found that conspiracy stuff. I was like, nothing's the way I thought it was. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I was like, there's so much confusion. I don't know what is what. I was like, how does it actually work? How does this place actually work? It was
What
confusing.
what
2014 was confusing.
what was the first exposure you had to believers? Was it Martin Zender?
It was Martin and someone named Gary Emerald, tent maker.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, yeah.
He was him and Martin were like the first ones.
What sent you to their
I was
channel?
just on YouTube, just looking up
Okay,
stuff.
and it just came up in your feed or
It
whatever.
just showed up. Yeah.
Cool.
Totally of God, nothing to me.
Yeah, yeah.
If that doesn't tell me anything, that doesn't describe of how I know I have no control. That
Hmm.
is an example that would pick the day that I would watch that YouTube video, summer of 2016. I never imagined that it could happen, because it has nothing to do with me. Of
That's so cool, eh? Incredible.
course, I was also fearful of I was watching the conspiracy stuff. I was like thinking, I don't even know about. I was so scared of the so-called mark of the beast, because I thought it was the. I thought I was gonna. I thought I took it, and I was so scared. I was so scared of if did I take the mark or not. No, it was scary.
Even those who eventually do. Oh, here we go. Happy go lucky. How's it going? with Fritz the cat for an emoji.
And it's just crazy the fear levels from the eternal torment stuff. It's wicked. It really is.
There's not a scarier story.
It's so. I feel like there's actually out of world supernatural things attached to that crap. I could tell that it doesn't feel right at all. I mean, it's just thinking about it makes me don't not feel right. Like there's something really wrong attached to it, not just the thought of it. There's something else attached to it. Spiritual wickedness attached to that there's principalities and powers attached to that crap. There's something beyond just an idea. It's not just an idea. I feel like there's something else
Ch-
attached to that.
Check out what Jody's saying here. She said, or he said, hung out in a private setup like this before Martin Zender, and we did meetings almost daily. So I guess they must have fellowshipped on the internet.
I wonder if she's ever heard of the Wayne Levi Price Tribulation Saints. If that is the ultimate in just terror. You listen to this guy, it'll terrorize any human. This guy, I don't know. This guy really is. His heart has been. He's like Pharaoh. He's very,
Is
very
this mean
hard.
anything to you?
What?
His image ministry is that
Is
Price
that
guy
another
that
one you
you're
must
talking
have heard?
about?
Is that another one of these? Oh my, there's so many of them on YouTube. There's lots of them.
Well, there's 36 million stone churches in the world.
Oh, oh man, I see them all the time, and it just passes.
2.2 billion Christians.
Oh my.
I guess that's a
Wow.
narrow road.
They say that's a narrow road. Oh, that's the. There's 2 billion of them. Oh my gosh.
2.2.
Oh, that's a lot of eternal torment believers. Oh my gosh.
The sad thing about it is it's literally exactly the opposite of God. God's all about grace, and that's all about
They
punishment.
seem to everything they believe in is the opposite. There's just you got to run as far away from them as you can. And they try to use scripture and try to make it sound like the truth. That's the worst part about it is that you'd think they're the truth because they use scripture and they talk about how they say God is sovereign. They say he's good, but no, they don't. You actually dig in. The white sepulchres that are whitewashed, that's the most accurate description. They look, on the outside, they look convincing, but then you open it up and, ooh, what a mess.
If it's given to you to understand, right? Most it's not given to understand, right?
Not very much at all.
Confusion is intended. And look at the difference between people in the body in the typical Christian world, right? There's a real honesty and sincerity amongst us, right? Nobody's trying to hide anything. Nobody's being phony to one another or anything like that, right? Because whatever your faults are, we're going to accept them, right? All you have to do, you believe the same way, that's kind of the end of it, right? Whatever earthly problems you might have or whatever, that's secondary to your understanding, right? Are those people believers, Jody? That must be people in the group who they used to. Okay. Facebook friends.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's worse, the eternal torment or immortality of the soul. I think they're pretty much linked.
Yeah,
You can't have one without the other.
wrong is wrong, right? Like 2 plus 2 is 4. If you come up with the number 8 or the number 5, either one's wrong. The fact that one's closer than the other is of no consequence, right?
It's
Okay.
the big four that I know that the Christians believe in. The big four. The big four pillars of Christianity that are absolutely false. The big four.
Well, most of the tenets of Christianity all stem from the Catholic Church.
And from Babylon. Where
Right.
really all. Because the Babylonians believed in immortality of the soul. And they believed in a God that had multiple parts, things like that. Multiple gods. A God of good and a God of evil. That's what Christianity believes in. I mean, they have a good God and an evil God. They have Gnosticism and everything. They have the good God and the evil God fighting it out. But that's Greek mythology. That's all kinds of stuff just mixed together.
Well,
Really,
they all have
truly.
the Apostolic Creed, right? Which is a Catholic thing. And I remember we were going to send our kids to a Christian school, but they wouldn't accept us because we didn't believe in the Trinity. So, because even when I was wrapped up in Christianity, I didn't believe in the Trinity or hell. But it took a while to find other people who were like-minded, right? I even went to the Jehovah's Witness thing for a while.
A lot of the people in Christianity, they just comply. It's like this world with the what in the compliance muzzles. It's the same. It's just about control. How many of those people actually believe what's there, or they're just, doing it just for their family members or something like that? It's just hard to tell.
Well, when the hook to catch you is if you don't love me, I'm going to burn you forever. That's a pretty big motivator to go to the church, I guess, right?
It is. It's a pretty nasty. Not even this world says such nasty things to people. Not even worldly people do
I
that.
think Hollywood owes the Catholic Church a lot of money. They wouldn't have any horror movies without the idea of hell.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be the carrot and stick model. That's how religion works. So this world works as well, the carrot stick model.
Well,
Herds the masses and all of that religion. I mean, it's crazy how many people. I'm so glad to be out of there. Of course, I work on Sundays at Safeway, so I see all these people coming back doing shopping all dressed up nicely. I'm always like, oh man, look at that. They're all dressed up because they make sense their job. They gotta dress up because they gotta show off to this angry God. That you have to show your good side or he'll be pissed off at you.
lots of rules to follow, eh?
Oh, unbelievable. And how many rules? So many rules that make no sense or are just stupid. Like the ones that say some say no movies, no dancing, no public swimming. But it's so strange. Some of these rules. It's like just more control.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually they're gonna make, and they're gonna make it. If they see you not following those rules, like with the internet now, if they find you, they can go on their little chat groups and they could say, oh, such and such was doing this, and they can ostracize you, and put you down, in those chat groups if they catch you. So it's like, what do you say? It's like they can control you even not away from the church
Yeah.
because they
Well,
just
they're certainly not free in Christ.
mm-hmm. Well, they don't want you to have any freedom. I was thinking about that just a couple of nights ago. That religion takes any bit of little freedom you have and put it behind a paywall. They put it behind a paywall, a subscription service. They make everything a subscription service. Religion's terrible. It's it's just a subscription service. That's how I treat it. No freedom.
They got a incredibly good marketing campaign. I don't think anybody's been as successful financially as religion.
Oh no, yeah, it is so stable.
Where you figure 36 million churches, sell them off, how much money you get from that, right?
Yeah, the amount of money they spend, how big their facilities are. It's like, oh my gosh, it's insane.
Tithing for the Levite priests, they're still doing that.
I guarantee these Christians, they want to be Israelites so badly. They're pretty desperate.
Yeah, I know a born again. She wears a David star on her coat. I find that kind of funny. It's like they're hedging the bet even in Christianity, right? They don't want to offend the Jewish God, and they don't want to offend the Christian God that they have confused in their head.
I feel like Christianity is the kind of equivalent of just going to the casino. It's basically what you're doing. You're just betting that you're not going to go to this hell place.
Well, that becomes apparent when they start adorning themselves with Jewish type of speaking and stars and all this sort of stuff, right? It's as if they're afraid to put their feet all the way into even Christianity, right?
And there's no stability at all. Always unstable.
Mm-hmm.
Always, and so much condemnation. No stability at all. Just there's no stability.
Well, Nick, we've been on an hour and a half, and I got to get up in the morning and go drop my buddy's phone off at his house, or his charger. He forgot all of his stuff in my car. I got to be to his place by 9 o'clock. So I think I'm going to hit the hay.
All right.
So, Jody, thanks for coming in. And
That confusion is of the enemy. That's all that we get is confusion. Confusion, fear, and uncertainty.
Who else do we have here? Tommy. Patricia was in for a bit. Oh, shit. Never mind. Here. We have somebody. Hey, how's it going?
I guess I'm going to say goodnight. Sounds like you guys are going to bed.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah, how you been anyway?
I got up at 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. I've been up for I don't even know how long,
20 hours?
like 20 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. You got your doggies around you?
Oh, I forgot to shut YouTube off. Hold on, I gotta shut YouTube off. Darn it.
That's
All
just
right.
crazy. It's crazy how insane everything
So
is.
it causes an echo.
Right. Is it still echoing on you or?
No, I just shut it down. I have
Okay.
it out in the living room, but I have the audio muted. So
Okay.
I can let you guys go.
Oh, there we go.
I was gonna go to bed an hour and a half ago, but you guys got me wide awake. Although I'm pretty tired. My son came out and said, "Dad, you're gonna mess your sleep schedule all up."
It's just crazy how crazy this Eon is getting.
Turn off this. Okay. I think it's working. I keep hearing an echo.
Now I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good now.
It's still doing it. Like I say something and then I hear myself again.
Is that your phone perhaps, or?
Maybe because of where I've got my phone.
I think the
All right,
phones are always a little echoey because the speaker, if you're using the speaker on the phone, the microphone's really close to the speaker. So, but I can't hear this if I don't have the volume up.
It's just a cheap phone, like $100 phone, I think.
It's just when you're on a phone, they're just microphone and speaker. There's not very much distance
I do have a
apart. So
Chromebook.
you get a little feedback. That's just how it is. You can't do much about that.
Okay, I think I am going to go to bed. I'm running out of gas.
We can hardly make out what you're saying because of the.
What was that?
I can hardly make out what you're saying because of the echo.
I don't know what I can't understand. There's like a whole bunch of interference.
It might just be the phone trying to do noise canceling, like it's on a phone call, but it's just not working very well. So it's causing disturbance. Yeah, I hear there's a weird noise. I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Huh. I don't hear it.
That's just the phone trying to do something.
Strange.
Do you got one of your?
What the heck is that?
Do you got your muted, Jody?
I can't hear you.
Do you have the YouTube muted?
Wait a minute. Let me see if I put my phone. Maybe I'm blocking my microphone. Can you hear me now?
But there's an echo.
I don't know why it keeps echoing.
Say something now.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly. It's Nick who's doing the echo.
I don't hear the echo anymore.
There, it's from Nick.
My dog is rolling around on my couch, moving my phone. I think she's trying to tell me it's time to go to bed.
It's
Mabel. Stop.
Oh, is that your doggie's
Right
name? How many dogs you got?
We have 3. We have a
Okay,
Jack
nice.
Russell. He's the oldest. And then we have Mabel. And she's about 6. And she's a mix between a Shih Tzu and a Russell. Or I'm sorry, a Jack Russell and a Shih Tzu. So she's a
Okay.
Jack Tzu. Come here, Mabel. Come here. Here's Mabel.
Oh, cutie. I love dogs.
Yeah.
I can't have one anymore.
Yeah, we're her third home.
Oh, really?
She had
Eh?
a feeding problem, but she's like remarkably improved.
How old was she when you got her?
She was little over 1, and she already
Okay.
had 2 homes.
Right.
So somebody paid a lot of money for this dog because she's definitely a designer dog.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact she's mixed like that will make her healthier too.
If she's fixed?
Mixed.
Oh, mixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very stubborn. She's pig-headed. So then I also have a Labra bull, and she
half pit bull, half lab.
pardon?
Half pit bull, half lab.
Yeah, a Labra bull.
Nice.
My daughter got it for 2 weeks, and she just couldn't handle how high strung she was. And her and Mabel like bonded like right away, but now they are constantly seeing who's going to be the top dog.
Right.
So, yeah, Nessie's a couple years younger than her.
Right.
But she's a brat, aren't you?
So you're in New York State?
Yeah.
Near
And
the
you're in
Finger
Canada.
Lakes. Yeah.
I'm in the Finger Lakes. Are you
Nice.
familiar with it?
Like I've heard about them. I've heard about people going on trips there and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
pretty
it looks like fingers when you look at the
Right.
map.
Yeah, I've seen it
Yeah.
on the map. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Native American folklore
Okay.
where something about the Great Spirit like scraped the ground, and
Okay.
it literally looks like a claw.
Yeah.
It's really cool, but
Yeah.
really beautiful lakes.
They've got some neat stories for sure.
Yeah.
I used to say when I used to say that compared to Christians, typically natives have a more clear understanding of the creator. Right?
Yeah.
Like they don't know the name of the creator, but they believe in one creator. Right. And not a trinity.
Well, when I was in that His Image ministry, I had no idea what it meant to be a human, like from God's perspective. Like I had no clue. So that was like the very first thing I learned, that, there's one spirit and we live within that spirit. So all of us are being animated by one spirit.
Yes.
And it blew my mind. Wow.
God is one.
Yeah.
Right?
He is.
He makes all things be, makes all exist. It is the ultimate force and power over the entire universe.
Yeah.
It seems like Star Wars has more truth than all of Christianity. Star Wars, they have the force. They always say, may the force be with you. Literally, may God be with you. That's basically what that means. May
what
God
about one
be with
nation
you.
under God?
Yeah,
we're under God.
All creatures are under God, all things.
Right. I'm just saying, like, that's the United States motto.
Yeah, it is.
One nation under God.
Yeah, it's one. The problem is they don't know which God. It's the small.
Well, that's
G.
true. Well, they might have in 1776.
Not the sovereign God of the universe. They talk about the God of Christianity.
Well,
I've read some articles about Lincoln And supposedly Lincoln was a universalist,
Right.
right? So I kind of find it interesting that he freed the slaves and he was a universalist, right?
Yeah.
So, because there's I looked quite deeply into the founding fathers of the states, although I'm Canadian, just to see what they really had to say.
Right.
And it seems to me that the leadership in America has really gone off base from
Right.
what the initial people intended, right? Because one
Well,
of the
it's supposed to fail. Government is supposed to fail.
absolutely, yes,
But
and
we as Americans, we think it's not going to
Yeah, they
fail.
think government's going to
We
fix
can't let
everything. They
it
think
fail. We have to
right,
stop it from failing.
and
that's what
the idea that somebody thinks this is the better party or this is the better party is a little bit, to me, kind of silly, because they're both supposed to fail. Only
Yeah.
humans
God
can't
can
rule
run things
themselves.
properly.
Yeah.
Every single government that's ever been on the earth
That's why history
is
repeating
simply
itself.
an example of failure, right?
Yeah.
That's why history repeats itself, because humans can't rule over other humans. All they do is fail.
Well, they're
Well,
supposed
yeah,
to.
because
They
they
have
might
to.
start out with good intentions, but it just goes south.
Mhm. And like some people are of the opinion too that all authorities have an like a overbearing celestial influencing them, right? So
Like angels?
yeah, type of a thing.
Celestial being.
There's one, I forget which scripture it's in, and it's somebody's praying for help, and Michael ends up coming down to help, but it takes Michael 3 days to come to the aid of the person. And they asked, why did it take so long? And he said, because I was fighting with the Prince of Persia.
Okay.
Right? So it's like the heavenly celestials are in battle up there, and like different celestials are appointed for different countries to influence them.
That explains why this eon is getting so crazy.
But it's supposed to, right? It's going to get way worse, and
Like
we're
everything's getting set up for a white horse ride.
Well, like
But
last Wednesday night, I had this car accident, and
at least you didn't get hurt.
so since then, my grandson stays with his other grandmother, and their house burned down. That was yesterday morning.
Oh my God.
And then my grandson thought he broke his nose in school, so he had to go to urgent care. I'm like, how many more calamities are going to happen? It's like,
or
wow.
just like how I lost Jack last year.
Your insurance will take care of your van?
What's that?
Your insurance will take care of your van?
Yeah, they actually paid us $2,000 over what we paid for it.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, it was a pretty beat up van.
Right.
It didn't look bad, but when I was coming over the top of a knoll, the dog was right there. I couldn't even put my foot on the brake. And it went up under my van and it rolled around.
Oh,
right.
No.
And this dog was fat.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I picked her up out of the road and her heart was still beating. And she had to weigh between 50 and 60 pounds.
Wow.
So it's
Wait,
like a
she
50-pound
survived?
bag of feed rolling around under my van.
Wait, the dog survived?
No.
Oh,
she
no.
died. We stood with her, so she died. And then the cop tried to
You
find
couldn't
her.
swerve around her or
There was no
land the brake?
houses. It was pitch dark. It was out in the middle of the freaking woods. Like there's like a sanctuary out there.
Oh, you couldn't
And
tell the dog was there. It's
it's
too late.
wild.
Do you have near misses with deers too?
Pardon?
Do you get much deers around there?
Lots. I
Squirrels.
had to call around to 4 rentals to get the car that I got because everybody was referring people to another enterprise because there had been so many deer hits.
And I always see so many
Seems this
dead
time of year
raccoons on
is
my
worse,
drive
bud.
up to home. I literally count how many squashed raccoons I see. I see at
Really?
least 2 or 3 a day.
I've been seeing a lot of coon. I used to go coon hunting with my father. That was one of his favorite things
I
to
see
do.
so
Did
many
you eat them?
flattened raccoons on my way to work. It's ridiculous.
Did you eat them?
No,
No,
he
eh?
sold the hide. He would trap
Fur.
muskrat.
Did you eat
Oh, I've seen
muskrat?
muskrats. They're huge.
No, he did it for the hide.
Okay, because
The
Yeah, there are
fur.
a lot of trappers around here.
a friend of mine who's a trapper,
Oh, really?
his favorite food is muskrat.
Wow.
Yeah, so like if
I
it's
raise rabbits and we eat rabbit.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Ace raises rabbits.
He freezes them?
He raises them.
Oh, he raises them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 females, a buck, and 11 babies that are almost ready to be butchered.
Okay.
They got to be 10
Rabbits.
weeks.
Do you
I didn't
want
know you
Rabbit.
can eat rabbits.
They're very low in fat, right?
I thought they
Yeah.
were
Well-
unclean.
No,
Ra-
rabbits aren't
no.
unclean.
No, they're the problem with rabbit is that they have if you just eat rabbit, you get too much protein because there's no fat in the meat. But
Well, that's
Ace
not true. So it's a leaner, darker meat. It tastes better than chicken.
right.
Because why is it those that in Leviticus that you're not supposed to eat stuff like rabbits and certain
Well, they
animals?
have to have they're like a goat, how they ruminate.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they got to have greens. So
Right.
I just feed them branches. I pluck them off the tree
Okay.
and I'll give them like I have mustard greens and grasses, whatever. They love it.
Right.
I'll give them fruit, and we have a pantry about 15 minutes from here, and we get food from Wegmans and Tops, and you can just go in there and help yourself. So there's a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, and I feed them to my rabbits and chickens. So
You know how Ace fattens up his rabbits? He wets wheat and he feeds them wheat. And he said that they have like lots of fat in the meat from doing that.
what's he do to the wheat?
He wets it before he feeds it to them.
Oh yeah, I was sprouting it for a while. It would
Okay.
take like a week, and it would grow up about, I don't know, about 3 inches.
Okay.
And then, so you'd have to do that every day. You have to start a brand new tray.
Right, right.
It's not expensive. It's just you got to have a spot for it
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you can have like a metal rack,
Uh-huh.
and you got to rinse it, drain it, morning and night, and then you just do. I did it all winter, and they love it.
See,
But it was just a lot of work.
I think he's just giving them the kernels. Like he's
Oh,
just
okay.
wetting the kernels and feeding it directly to them. Right?
See, I feed mine alfalfa pellets,
Okay.
rabbit pellets.
Yeah, that's typical, right? But it's not typical
Yeah.
to give them wetted wheat.
They only need a half a cup a day,
Mhm.
and then hay or grass or branches. They'll eat the bark. Like I have like a big cherry tree here, and apple trees, pear trees. I got black locust trees. I got a lot of trees.
Yeah. Nice.
That's nice. You
Yeah,
don't
we've
live
been
in
here.
you don't live in a stack 'em and pack 'em in the
What
middle
was
of the
that?
city. You don't live in a stack 'em and pack 'em in the middle of the city, drenched
No, I'm
in
on the
super blue
outskirts of a
LED
small
light all
town.
night.
And it was named after Naples, Italy, but it's Naples, New York, because we have grape vineyards everywhere.
Wow.
So there's a lot of winery. That's what built the town, was the winery.
Okay.
And since then, Red Cat bought out the main winery, and they do pretty good.
Do you drink their wine?
No, not really. I'm not much of a wine person.
Okay. Okay.
What about you?
With a steak, I like a Chianti or something like that.
Okay.
Right? But I used to be an alcoholic, but now I just drink a little bit, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I drink probably once a month.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering how crazy is it up where you live? Like with the you know the ridiculousness, the craziness, the venom requirements and the compliance muzzle wearing.
I'm trying to think. So I don't get out that much.
Well, I'm out all the time.
How much acreage do you have, Jody?
We only have 3/4. No, we got 0.95. And it's
Okay.
like a big triangle, and
Okay.
everything runs downhill gradually.
Yeah, yeah. That's a nice size lot, though. You can grow quite a bit of stuff there. I had 2/3 of an acre in my last house, and
What do you got?
Yeah,
now?
I don't even know where I can get that because I don't have any money.
So how many acres do you have now?
Oh, I'm in an apartment in the city now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with machine guns all around me and murdering. And
stack them and pack.
Why, you don't like being in the country?
Fun.
Sorry?
You don't like being in the country?
Oh, I love the country. I hate the city.
I hate cities.
Kids, after we divorced, all my kids moved back to the city.
Oh.
So I moved here to be closer with them, right?
Right.
I hate cities.
I'll be going back up to the country again for sure. Right? So
you'll be finding a place to buy? Or?
No. I didn't get. I lost everything in the divorce. She got everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I thought I was getting half, so I sold all of my liquid stuff. Like I sold my fishing boat, my trucks, everything, and then I got a letter. I didn't even know it was the court proceeding. And then I got a letter saying she got everything, basically, right? So I was stuck with nothing.
So are you retired?
I'm right now in the midst of doing the paperwork for disability because I screwed myself up at work and blah, blah, blah. But if I don't get it, I'm just going to retire.
Right.
It'll be a
the
lot.
Theon's getting super tight. You could tell we're getting ready for a white horse rider. I feel it. How things are starting to get worse. You know what? I keep watching the prepper channels, and I know what's going. The preppers think they're gonna be able to have a good time through this. They think they're gonna. They see. I don't know what's going on with them, but they're always like, we're going to be the ones who get to survive. We're going to be the ones who can make a new society and all this. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I do have a bug out bag.
You do?
What I don't understand is the preppers aren't going to survive the supernatural crap. That's the problem.
When the thing started a couple of years ago, I knew I wasn't going to do it. And I was worried I was going to have to just bag out, right? So if anything gets too complicated again, I'll just go up to my boat and take off into the bush, right?
Really?
Yeah.
So you got like a tent ready and
stove?
Don't you have to have like a camp stove?
No.
Well, how are you gonna keep warm?
A fire, right? Like I've camped in -50 before.
Oh wow!
Right, without a fire, right? So I'm used to it.
Okay.
I've camped.
I don't know what's going to happen in this. Right? Nothing is going to protect you. These preppers don't understand. That's the thing. They think the society is just going to collapse and everything's going to, the actual environment's going to be okay. They don't realize that the whole Earth's going to literally start falling apart. They're not ready for that.
See, I wouldn't be bugging out for that. I'd be bugging out just for governmental type.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what are the preppers going to do when the
Like if you
100-pound
can't go to the
hailstones and the fire starts coming out from the sky? What are they going to do about that?
up here, there was a point at which I wasn't able to go to the grocery store, right?
Okay.
So if that happens again and it's more long term, I would have to bug out, right? But like I
Right.
wouldn't. It would be adventure to me, you know.
Well, I can go further into the woods in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
It is so remote. There's no electric there.
Right, right.
And my daughter's sort of ex-boyfriend, they have a child together, and he's 1 year old. Anyway, his father lived in a 2-story, 200-year-old barn that he took down piece by piece and put it back together. And when you walk into this barn, it's filled with this man's hoard, but the place is magnificent. It looks like someone that would be like someone that would spend $1.5 million on a house.
Mm,
It's wide open and beautiful. You could see where all the mortise and tenon is. Anyway,
Right.
that they don't have any electric.
right.
He runs on generator, and he's got some solar for his water. So there's some land that way we could go, and we've all kind of discussed we would kind of work together and try to make it easy on ourselves.
Right.
But I don't even think we could organize it all.
Right, right.
They're not believers.
Right.
So that would make it tricky.
Yes, yeah.
My husband is a believer,
Oh, right, eh?
but
That's-
he still hasn't given up the whole free will stuff.
I think that's the hardest for a lot of people, eh?
Yeah,
Is
I agree.
I think that's the last piece of the puzzle I put together myself,
Yeah.
right?
You think if these preppers that you see would have to deal with the 7 years, could they make it to the 1,000 years, or do you think they'll die before they could make it?
Well, the way I see it is when anybody dies, they don't have any memory. They're unconscious.
Yeah, but you can't. I'm trying to say, do you think these preppers could make it through the 7 years, or do you think it's just so intense that they can't do anything about it?
I can't even speculate on that.
Yeah, there's so many variables.
Variables.
Yeah.
Like, because the thing is, they're not preparing for is the supernatural stuff. They're not even ready to. I'm like, there's no point in prepping because the supernatural stuff is gonna get you if the cataclysmic events don't.
So I just don't think they have a. Well, so the way I was taught in his image ministry was that we go through a development, and Paul went through that development, and it's when sort of like we're being deprogrammed, but God's got to go back to the beginning. So little by little, we're developing into that place we were, because God's the placer. At one point we were in his image. Like we had a full on knowledge of that. So God's taken us back. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but that's all I can think of right now.
Right, right.
It's pretty incredible.
Mm.
Guess I'm not worried about the eternal torment stuff. Jeez.
That always just burned me, because my dad died when I was 17, and I kind of felt like he didn't meet up to Christianity's standards of
Mm-hmm.
a believer, or
Yeah, yeah. The traditional.
Yeah. And so, and he was a really bad drunk. Anyhow, so it really concerned me that my father could be burning in hell, you know?
Right, right. Understanding what happens when we die, to me, gives me great comfort for my loved ones who have gone. You know, I lost
Yeah.
a son, my brother. Excuse me.
You
And
lost your brother?
right, yeah, and
Okay.
it gives you a lot of peace to know that they're just sleeping. Right, there's
Right.
no torment going on. They're not aware.
So my father never met his father. And I don't remember my mother. So I feel like I got like ancestry crap that is, I don't even know, like it follows me.
Right, right. Did you look into your ancestry? Did you go
A
into any of
little
those?
bit, but I don't know my father's I don't know my father's family. So my father took my grandfather's name, and so we essentially erased half of our ancestry because no one knows my father's name. He was in the womb when his father died
Okay,
in the war in
right.
1944 December. So
Okay,
he was already dead before he was born.
I get you.
So he took his grandfather's name because my mother was single. Or I'm sorry, my grandmother was single, and she was only 20. So his name is Thomas McCann, and then my brother is Thomas McCann, and then I'm Jody McCann, and then I married a Burns. So I met my husband 35 years ago.
You never did that like 23 and Me or any of that stuff?
No, because these people don't even know that my father existed.
Right. But if you were to do the 23 and like I'm adopted, right? So I did it to see if I could
Oh, you
find,
did?
yeah, see if I could. I know I have a sister and another sibling,
Right.
and I imagine my mother or father would be dead by now. You never
Right.
know. But yeah, it's really interesting because it follows your blood, right? It's not following
Right.
your name, right? So a whole bunch of like I know what my birth name was, right? And
Your
then
first what?
birth name, like
Oh,
the name that I had when I was born, right?
right.
So I know that, and a lot of the people who are like who I've met on the ancestry thing, they're like my first and second cousin, but
Wow.
none of them know who my parents were.
Really?
Yeah. Not yet, but because
Oh, you just recently did this?
about 3 years ago, my
Oh,
kids put their money together at Christmas time and gave me ancestry, and then they did the 23 and Me or vice versa. But it's interesting to see
right.
like where you come from and stuff like that, right? Because like my ancestors were in America in like the 16th century, right?
Wow.
And it's like it's able to like see where you came from over in Europe, then
Right.
where you landed in on this continent, and then where your ancestors migrated throughout,
Yeah.
you know.
Supposedly I'm Mohawk, but
Okay,
my daughter did the ancestry.com or something, and it didn't show up in her blood. So I question why that's not there. So
right. See, I got 2% native blood.
you got what?
2% native blood.
Native?
Yeah.
Okay. So my grandmother um, lived in Salamanca, New York. Do you know where that is?
I've heard of it.
It's an Indian reservation. She
Right.
went through kindergarten to 12th grade right nearby the Indian reservation. And her mother was supposedly full-blooded Mohawk. And Mohawk is extinct, other than like, I mean, they're not around. They were pretty much annihilated by the government.
Right.
So they were like fierce fighters.
Hmm.
And so my grandmother had these cankles, and I got my grandmother's cankles.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, did these? Hopefully, none of these natives believed in eternal torment of some sort.
They believe in the spirit.
Yeah. The creator.
Yeah. The creator.
But
Yeah.
don't they believe in
None of
immortality of
But
the
there's a
soul
little
and
bit of
stuff?
truth in everything.
Yeah.
That's what I was taught.
Yeah. They call
Yeah.
the creator Nanabush. The Ojibwe do.
They what?
The Ojibways,
Do they believe that the
Ojibwe
creator is
natives,
all sovereign
they
and that they don't
call
have free will?
God Nanabush. That's
Okay.
the name. Yeah.
The
So
God
they
who
believe in
created
like
all
the
things.
wind and the water. And yeah, they got some crazy beliefs. Like
But
you
they
can't
only
like
believe in one
dig up
creator.
bones of your ancestor.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are places around me that they're sacred.
Yeah.
They're still sacred. There's so much Indian stuff around us.
Yeah. I've spent a lot of I used to spend the summers on the reservation when I was a kid.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be the only white kid and all with the natives and stuff. And I found it was kind of interesting because like where I lived, it was kind of tough and I had to fight almost every day. And then I'd go up with the natives, and over course of many years, I never got in one fight with the natives ever.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they'd
I
fight
used to
amongst
hang out
themselves.
with people that were like a lot older than me.
Mhm.
My neighbor, her husband was an attorney. His name's John Kennedy. And I used to go over there and work in her garden, and I'd paint for her, mow her lawn, babysit her kids. And she was like, God, at least 10 years older than me. And we became really close friends to the point that my mother got really jealous.
Right.
Yeah, that I would
Yeah.
spend so much time over there.
Right. Right.
But she was a potter. She made her own tiles for her kitchen. They redid it and it turned out gorgeous.
Must be beautiful, eh?
Oh yeah, beautiful. So
Would she fire the tiles different colors and stuff like that?
no, all terracotta with like a glaze.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
would be so
But it
cool to
was like
do
a
something like
huge, like
that.
kitchen, living room, dining, open floor, and they were just handmade tiles that she did
Wow.
like with her tools and stuff.
Yeah.
She was a hippie, like
Yeah.
full on hippie.
Wow. That's
Really
so
nice
cool.
lady.
Yeah. Yeah. They.
In fact, she had in vitro fertilization back in the early 80s.
Okay.
So like she was one of the first ones.
Right. That was early days. I think that just started in the late 70s, eh? Something
Yeah.
like that.
But they have old money. They're
Right.
Kennedys.
Right.
You know,
Oh, it's
Kennedys
from the
have
same
money.
family? Is it the same
Pardon?
Is it the same family as the president? Oh, okay.
I don't know that.
Okay.
I know that his family were pretty prominent in like grape production, you know, for wineries.
Right,
And
right.
so, but he
That's
died of lymphoma or something like that.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Not that
So he
lucky
was
to have money.
sterile. He was sterile. And so they had to pick out his sperm for his son.
Okay.
It was like night and day at their house compared to my house.
Right, right.
Yeah.
More easygoing at their house, like.
What was that?
more easygoing at their place?
Yeah, my father was a serious drunk, and I was the oldest, and I probably was protected more than I should have been, but in some regards not. But so my brother was 13 months younger, and my father would have us wrestle every night, and he wouldn't let my brother hurt me. But there was a point my brother like got taller than me. He was like 16. And him and I, that was about the time we just about killed each other. We love each other, but he would listen to AC/DC and Ozzy Osbourne and Motley Crue, and I'd be listening to Baptist music. And
Oh, wow.
I was 16 when I got saved.
Wow.
So him and I would fight over it. Really bad when our parents weren't around, but
I don't think you could get two more different music tastes.
yeah, we were night and day.
Yeah.
I like listening to music when jumping on the trampoline, and when I'm at work doing the carts. I like to listen to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago did you come into our understanding, Jody?
What's that?
How long ago did you come into our understanding?
About 2012.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the side chat.
Yeah, the His Image Ministry. We would just meet online. It was 10 o'clock every morning, except for I think we skipped one day. And we would meet for a couple hours, but I wouldn't go on camera. I wasn't comfortable.
Okay.
So yeah, I've always had like a real big anxiety about speaking unless I'm comfortable with you. I'm not gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm snobby. It's just
it's a comfort thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And I am an odd one.
Sorry?
I am an odd one.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I mean, like, compared to other people around me, I don't feel like I'm anything like them.
Right.
So
you don't fit the place I'm in.
We
all these people.
We are destined to be quite different than them, right?
Right.
So
I don't believe in the things the people around me believe in. A lot of the people around me believe in free will. They believe in you have to perform. You have to go to these colleges and spend $80,000 on these degrees to so-called get a good job.
Right.
Just back to the rat race. And first of all, you have to have good math skills and good spelling to be able to go through these institutions. You better be able to spell like a pro and do math like a pro.
Oh, yeah?
To make it.
I've been a homemaker. The only time I really worked is I worked in clean rooms. You know, Corning, they do the Gorilla Glass for the Apple.
Right.
You know, like I worked in those clean rooms.
Okay.
It was like a specialized cleaning where you have to double glove and mask and veil over top of you and go inside of a jumper suit and wear it. Oh, it was, I don't miss that.
I find there's a lot more in the States, I guess, because your buying power is greater. I find like even my ex, she's only come across one woman in her life who was a homemaker.
Really?
Yeah. In Canada, everybody has to work pretty much.
Well, I was at DuPont working. It was a cleaning service, the same cleaning service that does the specialized clean room cleaning. Anyway, this lady, she was from Germany, and she said her mother used to bake bread all the time, and she'd never baked a loaf of bread, and she was in her late 50s. And I had brought bread in that I had baked.
Right.
And she was just blown away. Like, in my mind, it's like, you grew up around bread, but you never learned how to bake a loaf.
Right.
And it's like basic.
Yes.
But yet we've gone away from all that.
Right. And it tastes so better.
Oh my God, it's so much better.
Like I make most of my bread.
You make what?
I make most of my own bread.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Like I've always liked eating, so I paid attention to my grandmother and to
Oh, yeah.
my Italian friends. I'd be right in the kitchen with their grandmas and their mums cooking the brajol and everything else, right? So,
Are you Italian?
sorry?
Are you
No,
Italian?
I grew up in an area that was mostly Italian,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, you
Toronto,
remind me of an Italian.
right? I drink. I there. I drink.
My husband's
There's
Scottish.
my Brio pop. There's my Italian
What is that?
Brio.
Brio.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a drink?
yeah, it's Italian.
Okay.
Right. It's it's like Coke with bitters in it.
It's like Coke?
Oh, it's
But
cola with.
it's got bitters in it,
Oh,
right? Like Jägermeister, you know that kind of medicine-y taste.
right.
It's in the pop, right?
That's
Like
weird.
quinine, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. I've been drinking iced tea. I'm probably not gonna be able to go to sleep. It's
wait.
really strong iced tea.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I drank 3 glasses of it sitting here with you guys. But
It's just
yeah, I
tea.
probably should head to bed.
just can't wait to see Jack again on the new Earth. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Have you heard about Jack?
Who?
Jack.
I don't
You've
know.
not heard about him yet?
Where?
He's my identical twin brother that.
He passed a year ago.
He's a real identical twin?
Yeah, but
Oh, wow.
he passed a year ago.
Oh, no. That's awful.
So
Yeah,
My
he's,
grandmother had triplets that were born in the 30s. And
Yeah,
back then, I guess they didn't survive, but they did. And I found the picture of them on a back of a horse, the 3 of them. They were all identical. I mean, old picture.
right.
It's really cool.
I love looking at old pictures.
Yeah.
Jack's gonna be so happy that he's gonna be alive again. He didn't even think that was ever gonna happen to him. He never
What
even
happened?
thought it was possible that he could be alive again. He just didn't think it could happen.
Right.
He's gonna
Yeah, I
go
used to
see
meet
me
my
again.
mother.
He's
She
gonna be
died when she was
surprised.
19. So I was too young to remember her. And my brother.
How old were you?
She died I was born in January of 66. My brother was born in February of 67, and she died in September of 68. So I wasn't even 3 when she died. So bad car accident.
Wow, that's the worst. In my mind, that's the worst.
She lost her head.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and
you
I
don't.
actually have the front page article, mother of 2 dies at 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
I
I'm
look
wondering,
forward to meeting her.
Sorry.
I'm wondering what will people's appearance be when they're resurrected and they're on the new Earth? Is it going to be? Are they going to look like when they were younger, or like what they looked like before they died?
Well, we're not going to look like male or female, right?
They look like we're going to look similar. What our appearance was? We know
I
Who
don't
is
I didn't know
who?
I
that.
don't think so. We're gonna have celestial bodies, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be completely different. It's gonna be like Cocoon.
Even the resurrected Christ took on two different forms, right?
I'm not following. What's that?
Uh, after Jesus' resurrection, the body that he presented to the apostles was different than the body that he presented to Paul.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I knew that.
Like so, and even in the body that he presented to the apostles, it wasn't apparent that he was him to them immediately.
It wasn't apparent that what?
That he was him. They didn't
Oh
recognize
yeah, they
him.
thought he was the gardener.
Right.
In fact,
right.
I was taught that the gardener was God that was with Adam and Eve.
Right.
I know that's heavy, but same gardener in Adam and Eve, same position. I guess I don't know how to word it.
Right.
But you know where I'm going with it?
Right.
So are you guessing we're not going to have our, I guess, features, and we're not going to?
I think we're going back to the beginning.
And like when Christ presented himself to Paul, it scabbed over his eyes.
Right.
So I think we're going to have that type of a body, not the one that he presented to the apostles.
But Paul didn't have what we have. We have the written word. He didn't have that.
Right.
So the way I was under my understanding from scriptures is that Paul went through a developmental process. We go through the same thing, but because we have the written word, I guess I don't know how to put that into words. We have compounded knowledge. Right. Because each of us bring to the table something that the other lacks. So it's like pieces of the puzzle to make up what God's getting ready to do. I don't know.
Right. Preparing us for our function.
Right.
Right.
Well, did you know that cells actually talk to each other?
Even on the macroscopic level.
The what?
Like if somebody comes up with a new idea somewhere on the world, it's almost immediately adopted in other parts without knowledge of the first people.
Wow.
Right. So there's a connection, right? There's like a mental connection amongst humans.
Right. So when I went to Cornell University on a field trip, I was right around 15, 16, and it was my major. So I was really excited. And they had a electron microscope. It was brand new. And they showed how the cells talk to each other. And I don't know why I can't get that out of my head, because I feel like we're all part of that body and we're the cells talking to each other.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. Well, that would go right along with God being all in all, right?
Yeah.
No central power at all. When God
Vivification.
becomes all in all. All power is decentralized.
Just curious, Jody, how come you have now as your name?
Because Apostle Paul says all we have is now.
There you go.
If you read some of the verses, that they might just be verses, you skip right over now, but
right.
So the way I was taught through the scriptures was that now is like the current in a stream, and money is currency. If you don't spend money, you don't make money. Money has to flow. if money doesn't flow, it goes stagnant. Kind of like our economy. Anyway, so God is present, and that's another kind of like, it's a time thing. He's present. You know, like the scripture says, he's a very I can't think of how it's worded. He's our present help. You know where I'm going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. When we're in trouble. So there's a lot of scriptures that talk about the present. And the present of God, his presence, is a present. And it's a gift that he gave to us without anything on our part. Like God did it.
Yeah.
And so if you stay current, you're in the now. Like a stream is always going over the rocks. It's always moving. So that's like us. We have to be current with what's going on.
Right.
Like we have to communicate with each other. Like the cells do. They talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I know it might sound a little foreign, but
Well, I think the biggest growth we can have, other than reading the Bible, is from fellowshipping with one another.
oh yeah.
Right? That
Oh yeah.
That, like Paul said, love was the most important thing.
Right.
Right. And I think we can learn a lot from one another.
Right.
And grow with one another. Right. That's why I kind of have this channel. It's just for believers to get together. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is totally out of my comfort zone.
Oh, right.
I don't do this sort of thing. No.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well,
I'm very practical. Like, I don't know, just, like I have chickens and rabbits and gardens and my marijuana plants and my dogs. And like this morning at 4 a.m., I lit a coal fire and I was watching Ace's live stream last night, but I was doing it at 4 a.m. and I happened to look over at the coal stove and it was cherry red. So I had to close the damper and turn on a fan. Scared the living daylights out of me. Yeah.
Do you make anything with your marijuana or you just smoke it?
I just smoke it. My son and I smoke it together.
Sorry?
He's got worse anxiety than I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you smoke that stuff without damaging your lungs?
Marijuana doesn't damage your lungs.
So I just microdose. I just, take a tiny hit and I'll hold it in and let it out. It's not a lot.
Because I don't think you're not supposed to put smoke in your lungs. It's not good to breathe in smoke.
Well,
because I would not want breathing issues caused by breathing in smoke. Like what happens with heavy smokers.
It's hard for me to walk away from smoking. I have done it.
I sure don't want to start smoking because I know people at work who just smoke and smoke and smoke. It's bad. I don't want to start that.
Yeah, that's true.
Marijuana is not harmful like tobacco smoke, though.
It's not addictive?
No.
Right.
It can't give you lung cancer or give you wheeziness or...
Somebody who smokes marijuana, even if they smoke cigarettes, is 63% less likely to get cancer than a non-smoker. And that's a study in the 90s from Johns Hopkins University. That's from Johns Hopkins University.
It's so weird to me that they call marijuana an illegal drug as bad as heroin or other things, yet alcohol and cigarettes are legal.
They say it's a gateway. So if you're going to do that, then you're likely to go to the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they put people in jail over some weed. It's ridiculous.
But I would say the gateway is curiosity,
Right.
right? Like somebody who's curious, they're going to find out, right? They're going to try stuff, right?
That's
Like
true.
I see, like I used to work with counseling addicts of all sorts, and the scariest is alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Alcohol.
legal. You can
Heroin,
buy it in any liquor
cocaine,
store.
whatever. It's not as detrimental as alcohol.
Yeah, I agree.
My son's getting dried out right now himself. He's in a program.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. But
Alcohol's legal and it kills more people than any amount of weed has ever done.
well, nobody's ever died from weed. They can't even
Wow.
they
Right.
can't even kill something they've tried and they can't. But you
Well, I
can
got to
kill
tell you,
someone with, you can kill
I
someone
grew
with
some
water,
skunk
with
weed
milk,
last year. I grew skunk weed last year.
right?
Super skunk is what
Yeah.
it's called. And I gave some to my daughter's boyfriend, and he gave it to a neighbor. The guy is quite wealthy, but he's dying, and he's got cancer. And anyway, he came back to me, my daughter's boyfriend, and said that he had the time of his life and that he really was so appreciative for the weed because the man was just suffering.
Right.
And it just alleviated all cancer symptoms. And he was dancing under the moon.
Wow.
This guy was so happy. And I was just blown away, like, wow, that's cool.
Did he pass or
Pardon?
did he die or
I think I don't know. I haven't had any news
okay.
about him, so I don't know.
But
But my daughter's boyfriend built a silo home for him. You know, like a grain mill silo.
Yeah.
Well, they did it 5 stories, and they built rooms around it with a winding staircase.
Okay.
The guy's like a millionaire.
Right.
And yeah, but he's got to deal with cancer. You know, that's a lot.
It's nice to see that alleviated some of the pain for him, though.
I know.
Right? Like I don't find on its own it helps too much with pain, but if you're already taking painkillers and then you smoke half a joint or whatever, it really does take the pain away, right?
Yeah, painkillers are very, very, very addictive.
Yeah, I'm on. They've got me on some pretty strong stuff.
Percocets.
Stronger than that, even.
Is it for your back? Or?
For my back and my knees.
Oh.
Right.
Construction.
I heard that stuff's basically legal heroin.
Skiing, construction, car accidents, trying to fly cars, right?
Yeah, I heard some of those painkillers are basically legal heroin.
Well, some of them are stronger than heroin, and it kind of freaks me out how they let people. If people don't do them for more than 3 days in a row, they can't get addicted to them. So if you take them for 3 days, stop for a couple days, take it again, you would be okay. But to allow someone to intentionally do them day after day, that's just asking for trouble, you know?
Right. I have tincture too that I put under my tongue, and that it's like a body high.
Okay. Yeah.
My brother has one of those infusers, whatever.
Yeah.
It came out weird. Infuser. And you just put your like coconut oil or butter in with the bud, and I think it goes for like an hour and a half. Then you strain it, and it turns into a solid,
Hmm.
and you just make a batch of cookies
Right,
or
right.
whatever you want to make.
I had some weed butter in my fridge when my kids were young.
Oh,
And my wife comes all panicked to me as the kids are going to bed because they had some toast on some raisin bread or something. They couldn't find the butter, so they took the green butter from the back of the fridge.
oh no.
Oh,
So we were freaked out, right? Like, oh my God, right? So they went to bed. We looked in on them and stuff, right? And in the morning they woke up and like we were so anxious, right? And we're like, how you feeling today? Well, fine. What are you talking about, right? So it must have just
They
put
must
them
have slept
to
like
sleep.
babies or what?
Sorry?
Did they sleep like babies?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
weed
But
butter.
there was no effects in the morning, like, right?
Right.
So, but I myself, I can eat as much edibles as I want. I don't feel anything.
Why?
I don't know. A friend of mine has a company, and he came over to my apartment here and sat with me. He got up to 500 milligrams or whatever. I got up to 5,000, right? And
Wow.
people take like 5 and feel something.
So because you've done marijuana for so many years, is that why?
I don't know why. It's kind of strange, but he was literally lying on the floor of my apartment looking up at me, and he's like, "You don't feel nothing?" And I'm like, "Sorry, dude,"
That's
right?
crazy. But you know, I've had that happen a lot.
But if I make
I can get stoned on like a couple drops,
right,
and my sister was doing it with me, and she could have like 10 drops and barely feel it.
right.
So
No, if I make my own tea, I can feel that, but the edibles you get in the store and that they don't do anything at all to me.
I've never tried the tea.
Right. I
Is it good?
well, I just like tea, right? So
Yeah. I'll have to try that. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that.
it really affects me, right? Like, meanwhile, the edibles don't, but when I make the tea, it puts me right out.
I've tried the ginseng tea.
Oh,
have you ever
yeah.
heard of ginseng?
Oh, yeah.
My father-in-law used to hunt for ginseng.
Yes.
And he would make really good money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's hard to find it now.
Yeah.
It got over harvested.
Right. Yeah, the wild ginseng has a lot more medicinal properties than grown stuff.
Yeah, I tried it, and it is really good.
Yeah.
Like mental
used to take
focus.
Yeah.
And just like staying on task.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I drink sumac tea. Have you ever heard of sumac?
I was talking about that today.
You were?
You know Ronnie Barrick?
I don't think so.
Okay, he's a believer from Holland, and he's quite a good photographer. And he had some photographs, and you know how the sumac, it really turns nice, bright, beautiful colors this time of year. And I didn't know they had it in Europe, right? So I saw his pictures, and I asked them, "Is that sumac?"
Right.
And he had to look it up. He didn't know, but he said, "Yeah, that is sumac, right?" And I told him my kids and I would harvest it and put it in the pot and make tea with it, right? And it tastes to me, it has kind of a cranberry kind of a flavor to it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And
did you notice that you had like a euphoric kind of feeling?
No.
So I was told not to steep it like normal tea. You take like a gallon jug, you fill it with the sumac that you've rinsed really well.
Right.
And then you submerge it underwater and you let it sit for a couple of days, and you give it a good stir every once in a while.
Okay.
And then you strain it You can even set it outside, like make it like sun
Like
tea.
sun tea. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to kill the qualities by
Boiling.
doing hot water. And the longer you steep that, the better it is.
Okay.
Uh,
See, I just made it like kind of normal tea, right? I would
yeah.
just get we'd harvest quite a bit. So I'd just get a 20-gallon pot, fill it with water,
Oh, wow.
put a pound or so of sumac in it, and then we just drink it like iced tea over the course of the next couple of days, right?
Okay, I think I need to go crash.
Okay. Well, Jody, thank you very much for coming on. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And I like to just mention, I think your hair is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Jody. Grace and peace.
Yep. Grace and peace.
Okay. Everybody in the side chat, happy go lucky, Paul, Red Pill, and everybody else who came on. Don't worry about a thing because God's got this. So God bless y'all. Have a good night.